Hey y'all, aloha, shalom. I'm setting up for our final quarter activation. I know I said 5:45 MST, but I am doing it a little bit early. I'm trying to get better about setting a time for you guys, since there are so many of you that really don't want to miss out on the lives. I know the energy of catching it live is so special, but so is the recording. And the thing is, these readings are Kabbalistic, so they're based on the archetypes. And the archetypes represent timeless truths. So for example, if someone were to see this video 3 years from now, of course it would be at the perfect time in the perfect place, because that's always how things are. And because this system is built upon that universal truth, you can watch this video anytime. It doesn't have to be live. But man, is it cool when it's live. So for those of you who are new to these activations, they happen every week. They've been going on for years. And we meet up once a week according to the quarters of the moon cycle, the 4 quarters. And people tune in from all over the world. And we sort of just connect and create a grid of light as we receive a message from the archetypes. So this happens every week. So follow my page, hit follow. You can also find me on YouTube, youtube.com/RebeccaMagic with the CK, just like my name here. Hit subscribe and you'll get notifications when the videos are loaded there. I'm also on Instagram, Rebecca Magic. So connect with me, stay tuned, and we'd love to have you next week and the week after that, and for however long you'll allow us to have you in the portal. So wherever you're tuning in from, drop a comment and let me know where it is. Of course, I'm tuning in from Sedona, Arizona. Magical, magical place. Thank you all for showing up to the portal. I'm just shuffling in your energy as you're joining. And while everybody's letting us know where they're from in the comments, go ahead and share this video while it's live to your friends' pages, your family, maybe your favorite group, meditation group, light workers, awareness, consciousness expansion, new age, all that good stuff. If you have a favorite group, please share this now so that people can get in the activation portal live. And if you don't want to share it now, share the recording at the end with whomever you think might need it. And maybe whomever you think might help activate the message further. But why not get them in now live, right? So we can experience this energy together. All right. Whew. I have my regular tarot deck, Rider-Waite, of course, with the corrections that I've made to it, as you guys know. And I have my custom Hebrew deck as well. And I'm going to use both today. So good to see you guys tuning in from all over. Awesome. Look at that. What a grid of light. Beautiful. So go ahead and let go of whatever it is you've been carrying all day. In your mind, in your heart, whatever's heavy, whatever's not serving you in this moment right now. Even if you could have justified carrying that fear or that anxiety 5 minutes ago, you can't right now. Because if you're here and you're present for this activation, it's not going to serve you to really think anything right now, because all you should do is be here now. Open, empty, and ready to receive. Something that I like to do is I tune into the elements that are within and all around us, but I tune into them as they exist inside of me. And I think of how we're mostly water. And I just see myself as this water carrying this electromagnetic frequency. And as the message comes to me, I effortlessly transmit it back out to the universe with its power multiplied. So when you're working with this kind of magic, when you're working with the archetypes, this Kabbalah, it's all about the mind. So don't be afraid to use your imagination, and maybe check in with yourself where you might find yourself judging something as too magical, too mystical, too good to be true, too corny, maybe really ask yourself, why? Why are you judging a magical practice such as visualization to be corny? Something to look at, because everything is a mind, and this is why children are such amazing magicians, because they don't question those things, they don't overanalyze, and so the power of the imagination really works for them in the manifestation process. So I encourage you to use your imagination and your mind in a fun way as we here now tune in to receive this message. You can see yourself holding hands with all of us who are alive right here, right now, all across the world. You can see yourself lighting up your heart and maybe sending a thread that connects from your heart to these decks. Or you can imagine that you're here right now, sitting next to me, pulling these cards with me. You can shrink yourself and jump in the deck as well. You see what I'm saying? Just have fun with it. It's all mind. And doing any of those exercises will certainly get your head out of wherever it's been trying to go all day, okay? So at least, if you're doing any of these visualizations, at least then you're not giving your thoughts to that thing that's been keeping you out of the present all day, that thing that's been distracting you from being here now. So it's the final quarter activation, which means that we are at the final quarter of this monthly cycle. Last week was the full moon activation, so the full moon activation is about seeing the whole picture. So we've had all week to look at the whole picture of what we've been going through this month. And now we're ready to close this cycle up. We'll have the new moon next week. So I call this one, the final quarter, the in-between week, because we had the full moon and then we have the new moon. So here we are in the middle, closing up one cycle and beginning another. So that's our focus right now. The first question I'm going to ask, and thank you, archetypes, Faces of the One in advance. Thank you. The first question I'm going to ask is, what is the archetype that represents sort of like the trophy at the end of the cycle? And when we pull this card, it's going to tell us what we've gained. What is the gift that we're taking away from this whole month of learning? And there will be a positive spectrum for that and a negative spectrum. So if you haven't done the work, then you will see this archetype pop up in maybe a not so pleasant way. And I'm actually I'm feeling only to pull 2 today. Of course, that can always change, but in this moment, that's what I feel. So the second one I'm going to pull is the ally, that will show us how to focus our energies right now in order to best prepare for the new moon next week. And before I reveal them, starting with the trophy, what did we gain this month? 3 of Swords, and this picture says a lot. It's pretty obvious what it's about. It's about challenges that surround heartache. It's about the heart hurting and what comes with that. The thought programs that we build upon this pain. We create cycles with these ways of thinking that doesn't serve us unless we really can look at them and transmute them, learn something from them, and move on. So it's saying that depending on the work that you've done this month, you'll either feel one of 2 things. On the more positive end of the spectrum, you may feel right now that your heart is lighter, that you're finding these programs that you built upon heartache, these thoughts that you allowed into your subconscious when you were hurting because of recent heartache, relationships, maybe not just relationships, but also just the collective grief that we're all experiencing right now. Whoa. Whoa. They're really showing me that one. So depending upon the work that you've done this month, this cycle, you'll either feel like you're lighter, even through all the drama and the trauma and the pain and the stress. You feel better prepared to deal with it. You feel like you're capable of holding space for other people who aren't capable of holding space for themselves or anyone else. So that may be you right now. If you've been doing the work this month, if you've been staying activated, staying self-aware, and doing the work to transform vice into virtue, particularly, then right now your cup is overflowing. You're able to sense the pain and the suffering of your loved ones, your friends, strangers, the world. You're able to sense that. But because you've been doing the work, you have a newfound strength. You don't feel that it's as overwhelming as it was. You feel like you have this amazing capacity to help others right now move through their own emotional process. And if you haven't been doing the work this month, what this is going to look like for you right now is deep suffering, feeling the grief of your own situation in your life, but also the collective grief, because always we're tapped into that collective. Whatever you're experiencing in your life is a microcosmic version of what's happening on a grand collective level. So for those of you who are hurting right now and who are still in the stage of feeling those swords in the heart, if you're still in that challenge, first of all, know this. The first step to heal it is knowing this. That what you're feeling, it's not just a personal thing. It's collective. It always is collective. So until you can take that pain you're feeling and until you can just not take it personally, until you can find its connection to the collective experience, you will sit with it and sit with it and sit with it. You will never sustainably heal your heartache if you don't see yourself as part of the whole. Because when you see yourself as part of the one and part of the whole, then you don't have to take your experience as personally. You are immediately empowered with more energy to be able to deal with it. Then you feel empowered to do your best because you know that you're not only doing it for you, but for us, for the one, for the all, and that's big. Without that feeling of purpose, without that connection to the collective, your suffering and your pain and your heartache, whether it's because of a boyfriend or girlfriend, or you lost your job, or all these like material situations, you will never be able to heal even those pains. You'll never be able to heal those pains because you'll always just continue to experience it with different faces in different places, in different lifetimes maybe, until you get it, until you really understand that what's playing out in your life is a reflection of what's playing out for the collective. And that's okay. You can take as long as you want because time doesn't really matter in this process. The only thing that matters is you getting it, learning for real. Okay, so here's the image one more time. Depending on what you've done to work on yourself this month, and I mean as far as self-awareness, being more self-aware, responding to the situations that you're faced with in life with consciousness, with awareness, with present awareness. Okay, so depending on how present you've been, depending on how much you've responded from that place of presence all month, will determine where you're at right now. If you're not hurting and you feel light and you feel like a lot of pains are just falling away, things that used to be so hard for you to release are now just falling away, then you're on that really positive end of the spectrum right now. And I invite you to share that with the people that you love and with strangers when you knock into somebody on the street or you're buying a coffee or whatever you do out there in the world. Remember that your cup is overflowing. And make sure you stay present with that process because it could be taken away in a moment. And the way to stay present with that process and to capitalize on this already amazing energy is to give thanks for it. To simply stay present and aware of this overflowing cup because it's always there. We just cover it up with layers and distractions, okay? So the best way to access that overflowing cup of the heart or to keep it overflowing is simply to give thanks for it. To be present with the knowing that it's always already there, here, now. So stay present with it. If you're on the positive end of the spectrum, that doesn't mean to stop giving thanks. It means it's going to be taken away from you if you stop giving thanks. So acknowledge it. Give your awareness to this amazing process you're experiencing. Because remember, energy flows where attention goes, okay? So acknowledge the blessings in your life always. But I'm speaking to this particularly right now. If your cup is overflowing and you're able to help others, pat yourself on the back, look at yourself in the mirror and say, wow, I'm so grateful for the work we've been doing. So grateful that because we've been doing this, we have the ability to hold space for more people, more brothers and sisters who are me, who are another me, in lakech. And remember, if you're on the negative side of it, yeah, I want to go there one more time, you guys, because I felt it. I felt some of you being like, well, what if we're not there? What if my cup is not overflowing right now? I felt you guys saying that. And the thing is this, first of all, you got to know that it's always there. The overflowing cup is awaiting your presence. And whatever pains you're dealing with, remember, it's not just yours, but it's collective. How can you see it as a collective pain? Also, how can you look at the pain you're feeling in your heart right now and accept that now, just like always, whatever we're experiencing, pleasure or pain alike, it's for a reason. It's for every reason. Always right on time, nothing outside of divine order. From this place of acceptance, can you maybe rise above the emotions of the situation to see what they're trying to teach you or to show you? And can you receive the wisdom there and come back down to reality and integrate what you've learned, ready to progress? There's another thing I want to show you, so I'm glad you asked. The other thing is this. If you're experiencing the pain, if you're experiencing the suffering, be okay with it right now also. Don't wait for a solution. Don't say, I'll be okay when I solve this. Know that you're okay right now. Know that the pain is temporary. Know that you will get through this. And in order to both accept, but also, accept where you are, but also envision the progress, what you want to do is see a painless future. What does the near future and what does the long-term future look like for you and for those you love, for your friends, your family? What does it look like for the world, if you could take it to that level? What does it look like in the future when you've healed that pain? Can you even see yourself on the other side of this pain? Have you even been doing that? Because if you're not waking up every morning and envisioning what that progress is going to look and feel like, and if you're not going to bed every night with that vision and feeling of what that progress is going to look and feel like, then you're not doing it enough. And it shouldn't only be in the morning and night. Those are just times when you're particularly receptive. But are you thinking about it throughout the day? Are you sending that frequency of excitement out into the universe, saying, I'm ready for it, I'm ready for it, I'm ready for it? Because it's not going to come until you're ready for it. So perhaps you've been feeling this pain and sitting with this pain for so long because you haven't been, up until this moment, ready to release it. So that's okay. It's perfect. Even if it's a pain you've been carrying for so long, you've got to trust it's perfect. But I'm telling you, it's time to see the progress. It's time to really make this a priority. Don't tell me, I've been envisioning the progress. Yeah, I've been envisioning it. How? Did you make one vision board and throw it in the back of your closet? Did you maybe do one meditation for 2 minutes after a busy day at work saying, this is what I want, universe, bring it to me? I'm saying you got to do the work. You have to prepare yourself, your mind, your body, the vessel that is you. You have to prepare it to receive what it is you want. And the way to do that is to envision envision what it's going to look like, what it's going to be like, and to feel the feelings that are going to come with that, but feel them here now with that vision. And the feeling with the vision together is what's going to bring it to you. But if you're so focused on the pain, then your awareness cannot be fully in that progressive vision. And it's okay to go back and forth. If you're not really ready to let go of the pain, you have to be honest with that too. But when you are envisioning the progress, you have to put the pain aside, at least for that moment of meditation, okay? You have one awareness. It can't be both in the vision of the future progress as well as in the pain at the same time. It doesn't work like that, because they come with different feelings, different vibrations. And so if you're envisioning your progress, you want that to feel good. But when you think of the pain, that doesn't feel good. So you need to be all on one side. You need to be all on one side. If there are conflicting programs within you, or if you're fragmented, that's going to result in chaos. So remember, if you're still feeling the pain of a heartache or whatever that pain is that you're feeling emotionally, you got to understand that you have to dedicate a lot of time. You got to prioritize dedicating time to envisioning the progress of the future that you want so badly. And you can't simultaneously be thinking about the pain. So really think about that. Could you be more dedicated to this priority focus of envisioning and feeling the progress you're so desiring to make? And know that your brothers and sisters are here for you if you're feeling that pain. Turn to those around you right now whose cup is overflowing. In fact, when you do that, you're doing them a service. When you ask for help, you're doing a service to the one. This is for the sake of the Creator. When you ask for help on your mission of becoming a better you. Because there are people here, like we said in the beginning, people who have overflowing cups, and they're looking for a place to practice flowing their waters into. They're looking for a ritual to practice having that overflowing cup being directed into the proper channels. So don't be afraid to ask for help. In fact, not only don't be afraid, be confident when you ask for help, that it's a part of our mission. And the ally right now, as we move through this in-between week, between the full moon and the new moon, is the Nun. This is perfect. This is the Hebrew letter Nun. This is my little card I made. And Nun is connected to Arcanum 14, Temperance in the Tarot, aka the Alchemist, number 14. And the Nun, and I'm going to talk to you about what it represents in the Hebrew alphabet and what it represents in the Tarot, and you'll see how they fit perfectly together. The Nun is the seed. There is a picture symbol, a hieroglyphic symbol for every Hebrew letter in the alphabet. And the Nun's picture symbol is a seed. And this is the seed that becomes the sprout, that becomes the tree, that becomes the fruit. The seed contains within it all things. It contains within it the blueprint for what is to come. And then Arcanum 14 in the Tarot, Temperance, the Angel of Temperance, aka the Alchemist, is the one who in the astral writes the script for the experience that's to come next. And this is happening because these tarot cards and these Hebrew letters, they represent fundamentally operative laws. And so the law, which the Temperance card is representing, is in full effect always in every dimension, from the micro to the macro. Okay, so what I mean by this is the Angel of Temperance is the one who writes the script for your next life. It's the part of you that writes this blueprint and knows what's to come. But because it's an archetype that's present in every dimension, it's also happening on a microcosmic level where we have the ability to tap into this alchemist or this Angel of Temperance to rewrite what's going to happen tomorrow, or what's going to happen tonight, what's going to happen in an hour, what's going to happen in a week. We can tap into this archetype within us whenever we're ready to rewrite the script, turn a new page. And you don't need to wait till the end of this physical incarnation to rewrite the script. You can write it anytime you want. Each moment holds an eternity. So you can tap in right now and rewrite the script. And that is what the ally is telling us right now with the seed. It's saying plant the seed. Nun is saying plant the seed. But don't just plant the seed. Know what comes with planting the seed. Preparing the soil. Making sure you have everything that you're going to need for that seed's greatest potential to sprout and to flourish. So this is the ally right now. And you can see how whether you're on the positive end of the spectrum here or the negative end of the spectrum, whether your cup is overflowing or you're still dealing with some heartache, you can see how the nun helps. The nun says to everyone on that spectrum, it's time to rewrite the script. So if you're feeling your cup is already overflowing, lock that in. Rewriting the script for you should involve preparing your life mentally, emotionally, and spiritually in a way that's going to help continue that blossoming within you. It's going to continue having your heart expanding. It's going to continue having that cup overflowing. What do you need to do right now to the script of your life? What thoughts do you need to rewire? What emotions do you need to refine, the emotions you're carrying? What spiritual practices or rituals do you need to set in place in order to maintain this consistently overflowing grail of the heart? And for those of you who are still experiencing the more painful side of this, how can you start anew by understanding that the pains you're feeling are collective, remember, and the pains that you're feeling are here to show you something? How can you take the nun's advice to start new by using that pain as a catalyst to start new? To say, you know what? Rebecca said that the nun is here with this powerful boost. The nun is here right now to bring in this code for us, this energy, and I want to capitalize on that. So what I'm going to do, and I'm speaking as though I'm somebody carrying the pain still, I'm going to look at that pain in a new way. I'm going to accept that pain as a catalyst, the thing that's going to spiral me into a new beginning. Once and for all, I'm going to say no to carrying this pain. And I'm going to look at each sword, each pain, a little more closely as an opportunity to rewire the way that I think, the way that I speak, the way that I behave in my life. I'm going to look at what those pains have taught me. I'm going to finally, once and for all, accept the lessons within them. And I'm going to move on. Seeing myself right now, closing my eyes, seeing myself in the future, having already moved on. Okay? I'm going to see myself examining the swords of my heart. Okay, I'm going to walk you guys through this little visual here that I'm seeing. I'm envisioning my heart with the swords in it, and each of those swords is a pain, but also a blessing. And I'm going to look at all the challenges in my life and where I'm hurting, or where there's a lack of gratitude, or where there's blame, anxiety, guilt, anything on that yucky end of the spectrum. And I'm going to see why the situation is causing this, and I'm going to see where I can take more accountability, where I can shift my life to be able to transform that pain into the gift of wisdom. And I'm going to take the lessons that I learned from each of these pains, and I'm going to see myself in the future having already integrated this wisdom, these lessons. I'm going to see myself perhaps speaking more kindly to the people that were involved in my pain. I'm going to see myself feeling more light and loved and loving, having rid myself of this pain. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to see myself having moved on from the pain once and for all. A new person having integrated this newfound wisdom that I squeezed out of these lessons. We're all ready to start anew. And the nun says, next week for the new moon, you will be so ready if you do this work right now. The nun is the seed of what's to come for the new moon. Right now we're planting the seeds for this new beginning that's coming in 1 week. So for this week, focus, you guys. Focus on either your overflowing cup of your heart. Ask yourself how to lock that frequency in so that you continue to expand, because it's never ending. Don't become content. Know that you deserve to ask for this never-ending heart expansion, because we share one heart. And you're doing it not for you, but for us. And you're doing it for the sake of the Creator. So don't be afraid to ask for more, more, more. When it comes to love, it's never ending. And you have not only every right, but it's your mission. It's your mission to ask for more love. And when you remember that in asking, it's for the one, it's not just for you, you sanctify that request from the universe. And the Creator sends it straight on over to you. You're like, God, Spirit, Allah, Hashem, whatever you want to call it. Oh, great Almighty One. I really know that my cup is overflowing. I know I'm so full of love, and love is infinite. I'm ready to grow my cup even more so it could be filled even more. I'm ready to receive more love so I can do more with this love for the love that we all are. Okay, when you speak like this in prayer, when you shout out to the universe that you're ready to receive more love, and you connect it to the selfless place of service, it comes right to you. Because the divine design of the universe is such that life supports life. And so when you tell the universe, I want this love because I'm going to do something really amazing with it for us, and you really mean that in your heart, and you're saying that with full purpose and passion to really be of service, then that love will come right to you. Just be ready for it and know what you're going to do with it. Otherwise, don't ask for that next level yet. First, intention. Be ready and prepare yourself to receive it, because at that point, if you don't prepare, you'll ask for the love and it can't even come into your vessel because you haven't widened your vessel. You haven't prepared, done the prep work to be able to receive that next initiation. So just some things to remember. All right, guys, so you have 1 week. Focus on locking in this high level of gratitude you're feeling, or focus on getting there. Take accountability, do the work you have to do to release the pain, to transmute it and make it into something beautiful. And see that as a necessary step to creating the life that you want to live, to starting anew. If you've been wanting to release that pain, now's the time. Once and for all, look at it, see what the lesson is there, and see yourself having already learned the lesson. And then when you open up your eyes, you'll be there. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this activation, for bringing your hearts and your minds to the portal, and helping us to make this message so beautiful and special. Receiving it together with our brothers and sisters all around the world. I would love to see you again next week for the new moon activation and see where you're all at. If you want to stay in touch in between activations, we have a private group on Facebook called The Royal Path. Go ahead and join us there and share whatever you'd love to share on the topic of archetypal activation, mind and heart expansion. I also have another private group for those interested in Kabbalah and Jewish mysticism, and it's called Shabbat Crew, Shabbat Crew, Crew. And in there we share about the mystical import of the Torah story every Shabbat, which is Friday night to Saturday night. So I usually like to post it earlier in the day on Friday or Thursday evening, just so you can be prepared to align with the message of the Torah, which, by the way, you guys, is always so aligned with the weekly activations, because the Torah is the tarot. They are one. The tarot is a mini Torah in summary and in pictorial form. So I recommend joining both groups if you can. And thank you so much to everyone who purchased magician's kits in the last couple of weeks, to everyone who's supported me and purchased my books 1 and 2, The Royal Path. Thank you so much. I've really been enjoying all the one-on-one readings that I did this week and last week. Some really powerful ones, you guys. The energy is so high right now. So if you want a personal one-on-one reading, just go ahead and private message me, or you can email me at bexmagic, magick@gmail.com to schedule a session with me. And I'm just so grateful. I'll see you guys tomorrow in Shabbat Crew for some Torah study. Shalom. Aloha.